Hello and welcome to the Arash Markazi Show, presented by the Sporting Tribune on the Mighty Air 1090 ESPN Radio in Southern California, 98.5 The Bet in Las Vegas, and the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760 in Hawaii. I am still in Vegas because it is the heart of the sports world right now, going from UFC to the NBA, to the WNBA, to the NBA, to boxing, to college football. And Adrian is right alongside with me for all these amazing events. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm feeling like a young Jason Capono. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's in the air, what's in my Gatorade, what's in my water, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great.
I mean, I'm feeling like Peter Stojakovic, man. The way I was sniping at the park on Saturday and in my adult league, rec league games makes me think like, man, I should have picked basketball. I really think I could have made the NBA. I really do. Just on shooting now and size.
I love that for you.
I love that as well. What I don't love, I don't think any of you are near the beach right now. It has been the gloomiest summer that I can ever remember, and I'm really miserable with it. It's 76 degrees and cloudy every day, and it's driving me nuts. Arash, I think when you come back, you bring the sun with you.
Well, I was going to say, so me and Adrian don't have a lot of sympathy because it's 117 degrees.
No. On Monday, it was a record-breaking, like it was the hottest day in Las Vegas history. It was 120. You know, that almost makes me sick. You hear it's 76. This is awful by the beach. You know, on Monday, where it was 120 here in Vegas, in Death Valley, it was also a record, or it was, I don't know if it was a record or not, but it was 131 degrees in which people were going there specifically because it was so damn hot. And to me, it's just the universe getting rid of those that need to be get rid of. I don't mean to be so morbid, but if you're going there specifically because it's 100, the universe will take care of itself. That's all I'll say. Because that's insane. I'm gonna go somewhere because it's 131 degrees. That sounds like an activity we want to be a part of. What?
Okay, I feel bad for complaining now, but the one thing I will say is when you go to the desert, you do know what you're signing up for. Near the beach, this summer has been crazy. There's no sun. It's no sun every day. And I know I shouldn't complain because 76 is still better than 131. But where's the sun at? Arash, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, but here's the thing.
You keep blaming him.
Well, so Armani Buckets, Adrian, what he likes to do is he likes to take his shirt off and he likes to jog up and down the Strand. So, you know, like he can't have these moments if it's a gloomy and cloudy outside. So
we'll take this. We'll take you guys behind the scenes. One of the main reasons that we are also available on YouTube by, again, youtube.com/@sportingtrib is not only to see Brandon's chains when he decides to wear them, but also Armani's his guns. So Armand, if you could really quick just show off the guns because you're in here sleeveless on the Tuesday.
Here.
There it are. And all you need to do is smile if there needs to be some sunshine. All it needs to be is smile.
Camera, baby. Let me get the fucking shirt. There we go. There's the girth.
NBA shooting guard's bicep right there.
That's a Desmond Bain bicep. I don't know about an NBA shooting guard's bicep. A little too big.
Yeah, easy now.
Speaking of basketball, we've wrapped up the summer league here. This was a very interesting summer league because I think there was one player in particular, and we've talked about him a lot. So, Adrian, I promise this will be the last day we talk about him. But I think, there's a lot said about what the Lakers did this offseason. And I think Max Christie will be one of their biggest additions in terms of you're going to see a player go from, okay, he's got a lot of potential. He was with the South Bay Lakers. Shout out South Bay Lakers. Max Christie. So, Armani Buckets, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on the performance of one Max Christie during this NBA Summer League?
So, do we want to start positive or more negative?
Either way. Let's start negative because we've really showered him with a lot of praise.
It's not even negative. It's more so that a lot of the stuff that you see him doing in Summer League with the ball in his hands, I don't expect the ball to be in his hands in the NBA. But his shooting looks like it can translate. That was the question mark coming into the league. And we know this. Jared Vanderbilt is the only guy. Let's go back to the playoffs. Jamal Murray, 30 points in a single half. You need somebody eventually that can guard those guys. And I think eventually Max Christie will be that guy for the Lakers. The question is, can he get that development this year? Will he be able to? Now, I wouldn't put anything past him considering the fact that they developed Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura in the middle of one season. So that's the goal for Christie. Can you guard Jamal Murray by the time the playoffs come? Can you guard Stephen Curry by the time the playoffs come? I know nobody can guard those guys really, but can you do enough on that end of the floor defense? I'm a big believer in him.
Yeah. I just wanted to add too, like, I mean, I just wrote the article, the Clippers and Lakers, summer league recap. I mean, Christie's second-year leap is going to be pivotal to the team because realistically, when we look at the Lakers right now, who are their perimeter defenders? Jared Vanderbilt, who struggles a lot offensively, and Gabe Vincent, who will undoubtedly forget how to shoot, like all Laker signings do, which sucks. But he'll at least play defense and
he's not that good of a shooter in the first place.
He was 35% up to like 38% in the playoffs from three, something like that. But either way, I mean. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. You're good. You're good. My fault. Yeah, he's under 35 for his career. That may be some Heat magic for that run, but keep going.
I mean, but look, that signing was specifically to guard Jamal Murray in a playoff series next year. That's what the signing was for. We'll see if it turns out to be a great signing or not. At the end of the day, Max Christie is going to be relied upon with Demoy Hodge, by the way, who I think Laker fans will be shooting themselves in the foot if they do not put him on the final roster. That guy is a Kentavious Caldwell-Pope clone. We were deprived of seeing KCP on our team the past couple of years. The guy played in an ankle monitor for the Lakers, and we decided to trade him. I mean, come on now. The guy he's the heart and soul of almost every team he plays for. He's hard-nosed. He plays defense. He shoots threes. Now you got a KCP clone. Joey Buss, they did his job again, and he better be on the roster because him and Christie, it's my last point, they can be the perimeter defenders that they need, those extra ones.
Adrian, I don't mean to take your turn here, but I do need to interject right here because...
Do you think, Playboy?
Demoy Hodge, as good as he is, and you may be right, Brandon, the end of Summer League, it's basically me and you out there versus these guys. I mean... I can't take anything away from the fact that you're impressing at the end of Summer League. The beginning of Summer League when the top level talent is playing, yes, fine. But this very last few games is just, to me.
All right, we're gonna do a Stephen A. JJ Redick here, right here. Okay, that is a misleading point, and for two reasons. Yes, that is the point as it stands makes sense, but the Clippers. Yesterday, they played Preston. They played Brown before he got hurt. They played everybody pretty much, okay? And Hodge has been doing this. He did it all of Summer League against all those guys. Sure, he had a couple like 2-3 three-pointer games against tougher competition, but he still played good defense. And for me, I'd rather have a guy that comes off the bench making 2 or 3 threes that's hard-nosed, that can come in and defend, rather than Vanderbilt, who's virtually non-existent offensively. Right, or for twos. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
But the Summer League, that was last night. Or 2 nights ago. My bad. But that's my point here, Armand. I think that the sample size is vast enough where I think it translates, and I think Laker Nation's gonna be real mad if he doesn't make the final roster.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna peel the curtain just because I think a big part of this show now is I want you to get to know us. I want you to get to know our personality. So sometimes, listen, sometimes full disclosure, we pre-record the show, and I have to catch myself whether or not to say that in the chat because no one tries to cover it up more than Brandon. So I briefly said, this is Tuesday show. Yesterday. I mean yesterday. Oh my God.
I meant 2 days ago. 2 days ago. There we go. 2 days ago.
But,
I also,
listen, yeah.
I want to give some love to the Cleveland Cavaliers for just making it to the championship of the Summer League. That is 2 championships, I believe, in the past 7 years. We could start the dynasty. And also,
oh my God.
Also, here we go. This is going to be a great indicator of your our Summer League boy to see how good he's going to do this season, Mr. Christie. Currently, right now, so far, he has 163,000 followers on Instagram. If within the first month of the season he bumps that up to 200K, this man's doing pretty good. That'll be a good indicator.
So the big thing is Max Christie at some point, and I don't know his personal status, but you know what? It happened to Kyle Kuzma. It happens to a lot of these young guys. He's going to be on TMZ. He's going to be leaving Craig's or going out with someone, a celebrity. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Listen, as long as these guys play, they can do what they want to do. But then he'll be fully Hollywood, as Armani Bucket said. These Kobe comparisons, and it's more joking, and it's maybe like, what is it, like how he talks and how he carries himself? Like what is with the Kobe comparisons here?
I think it's the mannerisms, kind of the look a little bit, the aura.
Wow.
I think you can't
Moxie.
compare anybody to
Moxie.
Moxie. That's a good way to put it. You can't compare anybody to Kobe, but he does have Moxie. Christie definitely has Moxie, and he looks very comfortable. I remember you brought up Kyle Kuzma. I remember I was actually at the first preseason game that Kuzma played in, and remember Kuzma had a good summer league, a really good summer league. They were chanting Kuz, Kuz, Kuz
Yeah.
before he even went to the scores table. It was ridiculous. So if Christie plays well, the fans are going to take him right under their wing. He will be beloved if he carries this into the preseason and into the regular season.
There's
Same
never
with
been a
Arash.
player that isn't white that was described as Moxie as the first adjective. This is the first on the Sporting Tribune that we did it with a non-white
Red
player.
loves that.
Whoa. No, there's a ton of white players with Moxie.
No, that's what I'm saying. That this is the first time that
First
we
non-white
use that.
player.
This is
Vincent, I
so.
says, has Moxie. I said Vincent has Moxie. Vincent's
That's heat culture. That's different. It's a whole nother
How
thing.
is
It's
that different?
heat
Moxie
culture.
is Moxie.
Well,
that's
because
like saying $100 isn't $100 in New York. It's $200, even though we're in the same freaking country.
It's just that the Heat have that trademark. That's like a whole thing. It's heat culture. You understand? You're a Lakers fan. You guys have like, we're the Lakers. Blah, blah, blah.
All right,
This is one of
Javon
them
Carter
things.
has Moxie. We can go down the list. Javon Carter has
Shout out
Moxie.
Chicago Bulls. Thank you,
Tyrese
Brandon.
Maxey has Moxie. You want to keep
Speaking
going?
of Terry, I mean, you always have a list, so I know we could keep going. There's interesting discussions with Maxey and Tyler Herro right now with Lillard and where he's going and stuff like that. So it's been interesting conversations with that guy in particular.
By the way, when is Dame? Are they really going to wait till the season starts? I mean, we had this discussion again, totally different players, obviously, with Russell Westbrook, where I'm watching them in training camp. Going, I can't believe this guy's on the team still. With Dame, like, are they just going to keep him and then trade him at the trade deadline? Like what's going to happen here?
I really think that we are forgetting recent history in the NBA. Just last year, remember how many of us, including myself, thought that Donovan Mitchell was headed to the New York Knicks? Arash, did you think he was headed to New York?
100%.
I think we
all
all
did.
did.
By the way the
out-
Cavs came out of nowhere, right? Yeah.
Out of nowhere, Cleveland jumps in and trades for him, and it kind of caught everybody off guard a little bit. I feel like the Damian Lillard situation, if he was genuinely headed to Miami, can't they come to an agreement sooner? I don't think he'll go into training camp with them because I think it's too much of a distraction for
76ers.
But I think that some team can swoop in here and get him. And my prediction for that is not Philadelphia. I don't think any of you will be able to guess who I think could jump in.
Let's take a guess first. Let's take Arash, what's your guess?
The Spurs.
Not San Antonio, no.
Okay, Adrian, what's your guess?
I mean, he's going to Miami.
Okay.
I would
I'm gonna
lean
say
Miami.
this. Hold on. I'm gonna say this. If it's not 76ers, Utah.
Yes, Brandon.
Oh,
Was that actually right? Let's go.
It sounds ridiculous if you just say the word Utah and Damian Lillard. But the thing is, they acquired so many assets for Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. They can keep their nucleus together while sending out a ton of assets. They could put together a much better package than Miami. And one more thing, Damian Lillard, he went to college in Utah. He's familiar with it.
I'm sure he liked that.
I mean, it's hard to convince anybody to go play in Utah, but
hey, can I just say this? So I was there for the All-Star weekend, and I'm not saying Utah's the greatest city, but if you live in Salt Lake City, it is only what is that? Like a half hour to Park City, Utah. Park City, Utah is amazing. I love Park City, Utah.
There you go.
Why
Utah's not bad. Utah's
No.
not Cleveland. Salt Lake City. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to do it like that.
I don't know what that's supposed to
But
mean.
Salt Lake
Better-
City.
better
if
food,
you,
best
if
food in
you-
the country.
You were to say well, it's very good food, yes. But Salt Lake City, I would rather play in Salt Lake City than Cleveland, Ohio.
That's
Wow. No one
crazy.
wants to play.
Hold on a second. For you
No
guys
one
to
wants to play in
readily,
Cleveland.
let's
Cleveland
not
is
talk
probably
about
30.
How many
you-
free agents
you
have
guys-
the Guardians
you
and
guys-
Indians ever attracted?
you guys. The amount of we don't need to talk about drugs on this show, but you guys need to take care of yourselves. All right, you've been in Vegas too long right now, Arash. Now let's get to Utah. You want to talk? Why would Damian Lillard want to go to Utah?
I think
I mean,
if the Miami
Armand just
trade
said
is
it.
not, if it's not feasible, and Portland is really willing to say, "Hey, we're
Why
not
isn't it
sending you
feasible?
there," because the offer is just not attractive enough for.
What's
for
the
Portland.
offer?
The offer is you either send Tyler Hero to a third team or you take him yourself, and then you get basically Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, salaries to match it, and couple picks and pick swaps. I feel like they can do much better than that. And
Tyler
you know,
Hero's
a
better than
team-
Jordan Clarkson, so you're just replacing a 2 with a 2 that they all
I
kind of
don't
do the
think
same
it
thing.
would. I think it would be more Taylor Hendricks and Keontae George as the Jazz headliners, the guys that they just drafted. Yeah, Tyler Hero is better than Jordan Clarkson, but also Tyler Hero in a lineup with Shaden Sharp and Scoot Henderson and also Anthony Simons kind of makes no sense. So regardless, I'm really just annoyed by all the Dame talk. It's like, if you're going to do something,
Yeah.
do it. But it's going to probably drag out all summer because Portland doesn't want to lose that leverage. But the closer you get, I mean, the more teams are going to be saying, hey, you're kind of in a tough spot. You guys either send him to us or you just live with it. So, but I would watch out for Utah.
I
And it's
don't
Danny
think he's gonna
Ainge.
go there. I don't think he's gonna want to. If he gets traded there, he's just not gonna like. What is he gonna do that for? He's trying to get if he's going to leave Portland, which he wants to do, he wants to go to a winner or a team that wins. Like, he's not just swapping out Portland for Utah. Like, that's not that, and that's why that's my big thing. Like, he's going wherever it ends up, it's going to be a contender. This might be one of the weird situations where this might be a 4 or a 5 team trade just to be able to facilitate everyone's salary cap and all these picks and all these swaps. But even for Utah, it doesn't make any sense because you get Damian Lillard, and what does that do for the team? What, they're going to make the playoffs and lose in the first round? Like, I don't know. Brandon, what were you saying?
I'll tell you this. San Antonio is going to be involved if it's a multiple team trade because they're going to want assets to build around Victor Wembanyama for the future, and they have tons of young players they can offload.
And elephant in the room here, and I agree with you, Adrian. My biggest thing is I don't think Miami, I know Paul Pierce just said this the other day, I don't think they're the best team in the East, even if they trade for Damian Lillard. I don't. I think that they lost.
They've been to the
valuable
Eastern
pieces.
Conference Finals how much? How many times? No one thought
But
it this
they're-
year.
That's true. That is very true. But
They've
it
never,
feels like-
the bubble year, no one thought they were going to make it. Like, that's their thing.
It's them, Milwaukee or Cleveland if Cleveland can find a couple scores.
They overachieve over and over and over.
Boston's
and
going to choke like they always do every year, and they have no smarts.
While the
So, I
Lakers
mean-
sign your boy and the Cavs sign Max Strus, like, you're going to see all these players that were in
Hey,
Miami
by the way, Jason Tatum,
underperform.
Laker, 2 years. Once he can't
Can
win,
we-
once he can't win a championship. In Boston.
Let's stay on topic real quick.
Joel
But-
Embiid and Jason Tatum and Anthony Davis, the big three.
Armand, I just don't like. This is what Miami does. They ended up they get superstars when they have no. They got Jimmy Butler. They didn't have no cap space. They didn't have no picks. They didn't really have anything that was valuable. They ended up with Jimmy. Riley's a Houdini. Like, they make things work. And anytime they've had success, they've been in the conference finals. How many years they've been to the finals? Like, to me, like, for Paul Pierce to say, I don't care what Paul Pierce has to say. I really don't. So that, like, it doesn't mean much to me. I'm going off of the results and what they've done. They always make the best out of whatever, the undrafted or not, and they pull things out. And when you add Dame and Jimmy, like, that's a discussion of they can finally give over that hump because they know they don't have enough to win the finals. They have enough to get there, and it's been remarkable. So I don't know. I just think it's going to be Miami. I don't think that these are all just There's a reason why that name has been brought up since the beginning, and Dame's been doing the playing Miami in summertime in the background of his IG post and being cryptic. He wants to go to Miami, and he thinks he can win there, and I don't blame him.
And here's what you're right. I think Portland clearly, as much as here's the thing, they want to trade him where he wants to go. They want to trade him to a contender. Listen, because if it was about welcome back to the Arash Markazi show presented by the Sporting Tribunal, the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio in Southern California, 98.5 The Bet in Las Vegas, and the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760 in Hawaii. Just as a reminder, if you have a question or comment or want to win tickets to an upcoming game in Southern California, Las Vegas or Hawaii, call our hotline 310-400-0340. All right, let's go out to the Circus Sports Guest Hotline and join a good friend, Grant Mona. Grant, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, doing well. The Dodgers kind of lost a tough one yesterday, but I'm excited for the rest of the summer. I know it's kind of a dead period, but baseball's in full swing. It's kind of going to be the only thing on here because Summer League's over after last night, so we're ready to go.
All done Summer League, and now full speed ahead to all the other amazing things that are happening. I kind of want to put a bow on what we talked about in the first segment, only because
the Cavs?
The Cavs, listen, by the way, you were amongst people who are very high on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think this group in particular feels that they could go on a run. They could actually go to the NBA Finals. But Damian Lillard, again, there's this feeling that he's going to be with the Heat. They're going to figure it out. But Grant, I'm with Portland on this one. I think that they want to do right by Dame, but I think that they're also saying, hey, we got to make a fair trade. That's why I think we all kind of believe that this will be a 3, 4, 5 team trade. Grant, your feelings on where Dame goes?
Yeah, I think it's still going to be Miami. I think that Miami's probably the front runner. Now, I do think that it's not going to be a 2-team trade. I think they're going to have to get some other teams involved in order to facilitate those draft picks back to Portland because Miami does have draft picks, but I don't think they have enough to kind of sway that deal. You can have a team maybe like San Antonio get involved. You could have, other teams get involved to maybe facilitate that because I just don't see Portland just wanting Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson. I think they'd want more than that. I don't think that would get a deal done for such a premier player, which is kind of why I thought maybe, Portland would look elsewhere. I know the Sixers don't really have any picks. There's a very scarce amount of teams that have picks. So, if you go into this and you say, okay, well, if he wants to go to Miami, we can do it, but we're going to have to get somebody else involved. And the same thing with James Harden. The Clippers don't have assets. I don't know this thing about James Harden where the Clippers, especially with Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey tries to get everything out of any team that he deals with. I mean, he traded Ben Simmons, for James Harden. So both of these deals, you're going to probably have to facilitate a third team in here to make it work. I do think they get done because this is where those guys want to go. Usually when a guy says, I want to go here, here's where I want to go, he gets his wish. I do think that's what happens, but I think that it's going to be, another team, at least 3, maybe even a 4-teamer. I'm not sure, but Portland needs better assets from Miami.
And Grant, I was just going to ask about the James Harden deal too, because which one do you think happens first, the Lillard or James Harden deal? Because there's new reports that, especially with Morey being as difficult as he is to deal with, he gets the most out of everything. He's one of the best GMs in the league. There's no denying that because he lets things ride and has pride and doesn't trade guys. Always makes a better trade than he should. How long do you think this takes for the Clippers?
I think it's not going to be something that's going to happen. I don't think this month. Usually we saw a lot of rumors with Kyrie and KD last year around this time too, and nothing really materialized until mid-season. Now I don't think it'll go to mid-season just because James Harden's the kind of guy that you can't just keep him off the team. He's at least going to play for the Sixers. I know he says he doesn't want to, but I'm sure he'll. There's a lot of memes going around social media about him putting on a fat suit, which is kind of disrespectful. But it's usually around this time that we hear. This is going to take months and months. It usually doesn't go on like that. It's usually going to happen before the season or in training camp. There's rumors about Russell Westbrook being traded in training camp, and that didn't really happen until mid-season either. So, There are instances where that happens, but I think in this one, since the rumors happened so early, I mean, they happened like right when free agency started, even before that. I think that James Harden will be the first to go. Damian Lillard, I can't really get a gauge on what he wants. Chris Haynes says something, and then somebody else says something else. So, he loves the game. He loves basketball a lot. So I think that he'll play in Portland, even if they don't get a deal done. I think he'll still play just because he loves. Yeah, I do. I think he'll still play when the season starts. Now, I don't know if that's going to be, 2 months in the season, 1 month in the season, because you do have this new tournament. So I don't know how that's going to affect anything, if they want to play him or not. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, but I do think that Harden goes first just because he's directly set. And, you could say, Dame has no trade, doesn't have a no trade clause, but he kind of does because he's been so loyal to that team. So I think Harden goes first, but like I said, they're going to have to involve another team because the Clippers, they don't have many assets. They don't have any draft picks. They have maybe Norman Powell as a contract match, Marcus Morris. You're not going to give away Terrence Mann. I guess the front office doesn't want to get rid of Terrence Mann, and that's going to be a centerpiece. So I think Harden goes first.
I need to make one thing clear. No matter what trade possibility Portland has, the best player they're going to get in any trade is Tyler Herro, whatever that means. And that's bottom line.
I don't think so.
If there's an actual offer on the table, it is Tyler Herro. That's
Tyler
actually
Herro
being offered. And also the idea that a team gets fair value in any trade. I mean, we talked about it with Ohtani.
No.
Whenever you got a great player like that, rarely is it ever a 50-50 split or anywhere near it. You're Portland, you have a rookie GM. There is a reason why Woj is basically being paid for and saying the stuff that he's saying, trying to get any other team other than Miami to bite and offer something. It's not there. Even with Miami not offering or not having the necessary pieces that nobody in not even NBA 2K in franchise mode would approve the trade. You know what I'm saying? It's still just Miami. And the best player they're going to get is Tyler Herro. Does that fit Portland? It's not really Miami's business. But at the end of the day, nobody else is going to offer anything close to that. And that's just my opinion.
Well, usually, I'll add this. Usually, I am on the side of GMs if players are one out while they're on contract. Because you sign that contract, you're getting paid millions, and you sign that extension. Why are you requesting a trade? This culture of, I'm not happy here. Well, you're getting paid $35 million a year. Suck it up. It's like kind of what I usually say. But with Lillard, he's contributed so much and he's been there way too long. I feel like they have to do him a service and send him to Miami. I feel like that sets a precedent, like Armand said a few weeks ago, for the younger guys moving forward, that they're going to do right by their players. So, Adrian, you do have a point. I think Tyler Herro is the guy they're going to get. Is the guy in the trade, but will that be to a third team, right? Because I do think picks are going to be what they want. I think Simons might be gone too. Nurkic is for sure gone in the deal, by the way. We can talk about that. It's a separate conversation. But I just wanted to say, I think in this culture of players wanting out, I side with the GMs a lot of times because you're getting paid $35 million. It's like when they say, I don't want to talk to the media. Getting paid $30 million, suck it up. I'm sorry. Like, that's the least you could do. Like, okay.
It's a business.
If I'm getting paid $35 million, I'm doing it. What do you want? What do you want me to do? Come on. Like,
sure,
team,
player,
be grateful. Be grateful. I'm sorry. Like, that's the first thing. Like, all the complaining and stuff. The players are just soft nowadays. But that's a separate conversation.
What does
going
that
into
mean? Hold
on. I don't want to go.
Product of his generation.
Product of his generation. I'm soft in the paint. I play like a guard at 6'6". I cannot bang inside. I have no post moves. They try to always put me in the post on the weekends, and I'm like, I'm a snipe. I play point guard. If you don't want me to play point guard, don't invite me. I'm not going to play center. At the same time, I'll end this on this. They need to trade him somewhere. I just think that Nurkic or Simons is going to be a part of the deal. Armand, what do you think?
Well, on Grant's point, I just don't see them taking Dame into the season with them because you don't want a franchise legend to be remembered in an awkward way with how it ended. That's at least how I perceive it. I wouldn't want to have that awkward tension and kind of maybe some of the fans turning on him. To Adrian's point, I don't think Tyler Herro is the best player you can get in the trade. I think you can do a younger player that has more upside than a Herro.
Tyler Herro's like 23 years old. He's 24 years old.
We know what Herro's limitations are, and those limitations are probably
I just said he's 24 years old. What does that mean? He's
He can't
24
defend
years
in the
old.
playoffs.
Yeah, but
cannot-
even if he's 24, he can't defend. He's got like
He can't
Armand said, he's
defend
got
in the playoffs.
liabilities. Like I'll
The
take
problem-
Tyrese Maxey over him.
The problem with a Hero is in the
They're all the
playoffs.
same thing. They all have liabilities in one way or form in their game.
It's
Hero's
true.
more proven. Hero's a better player than Maxey.
Oh, no way. No.
What are you guys talking about?
You
What
are
are you guys
smoking some
talking
Snoop
about?
Dogg weed
Hold on
thinking
a
that
second.
like
What have the
Maxey is
Sixers
not
done?
as good as...
What have these Sixers done in the playoffs? Where
That's
has
on
he
Harden,
performed?
not on him. He averages 20
That's
points
on
per game in
Harden
the
and
playoffs.
Embiid.
And
If
it
they let
wasn't-
Maxey
Oh my
take the
goodness.
reins and be
This
the
is
number one
ridiculous.
guy instead of M choke in
Oh,
James Harden choke. Yeah, Embiid to a lesser degree. If they
He
let
couldn't
Maxey at least
perform.
be the second option,
He couldn't
they would
perform with
succeed
two
in the
MVPs.
playoffs.
He couldn't
They would
perform with
succeed
two
in the
MVPs
playoffs.
on this team. Yeah, but they haven't. I'm not talking about what ifs. I'm talking about
Just
what's
saying,
been done.
Hero can't play a lick of defense, and Maxey has better
Cool,
moves at
and
getting
he
to the
helped his
basket.
team make an NBA Finals.
He
What are you
did.
talking about?
He's valuable.
He's
but
won
the
awards.
problem
Like, what
is-
do you mean? You guys are talking about potential. I'm talking about what's already happened.
Okay, if
And they're
James
both
Harden,
young.
if you switch Jimmy Butler and
But
Bam
he's
Adebayo
not.
for James Harden and Joel Embiid, you're choking in the first round that
That
year
hasn't
or the second
happened.
round.
But
Like
that
I'm just
hasn't
saying,
happened. That's
it's
a
not Maxey's
hypothetical.
fault he wasn't drafted on the Heat. Like he's a better player. All this advanced stats prove it. He shot 44% from three. He's lock it in 20 a game, even as the third option. If he was a second option, he'd
does
average
that mean?
25 points per game.
And he's not a normal third option. You're playing with James Harden and Joel Embiid, so you never get your rhythm ever. Like you can't get a rhythm playing with those two guys.
And you know how
Harden is-
hard it is to shoot 44% from three with that volume and that many defenders on you and that stagnant offense of the pick and roll game between James Harden and Embiid.
Miami doesn't have a stagnant offense.
They don't have to when Hero's on the
They
court.
don't really have an offense. That's my
Well, they
point.
move the
Exactly.
ball more around. They don't just do pick and rolls the whole time.
Yes, Bam Adebayo's a bucket. Even Jimmy Butler's a bucket. Like, what are we saying right now? What are you talking
Bam
about?
Adebayo's not a bucket. He had like multiple
that's
4-point
sarcasm.
games.
That is sarcasm to prove my
He's not a
point.
bucket.
that the
He's
fa-
not a bucket.
That
dude.
was the
Yes.
Sometimes he can't hit the broadside
Okay.
of a barn.
Everybody, I know we got 5 people in here. Everybody, take a second. I was being sarcastic in saying that Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are buckets
No.
because they're not buckets, which means it's harder to score for Tyler when he's on a stagnant offense with dudes who can't get a bucket if they need to, which proves that it's harder for him to score than Maxey with 2 MVPs in Embiid and Harden on the court. It kind of helps him out. Tyler hasn't had that. What are we talking about? The Sixers have had plenty of opportunities and they always lose in the first round.
That's not
Tyler
on
Herro.
Maxey.
Cool, but he's a part of that team and he plays a part. He's a starter. So
Okay, but you can
He
say
just
the
got
same
to
thing
the
about
finals
Maxey.
without Tyler Herro. They just got to the finals without him.
You're going
Just
to
saying.
take away, and they needed him, and they needed him.
No, they didn't. They would have.
And
They
they
would have
needed
gotten
him.
smacked even
And
more.
did they win the
By a lick
finals?
of defense.
Did they win the finals?
They got a
Did
game.
go
They would have been
further?
swept. They would have been swept if Herro played because that would.
Yeah, and when Herro played, they
telling
won
you.
2 games. They won 6 games against the Lakers. So what are we saying?
He is a
But you
very
can't
limited
just blame
player.
an individual player. Like Jalen
not
Brunson
blaming
was
anyone.
excellent for the Knicks, and you're gonna say, "Oh, they didn't win the series, so it's his fault." No,
No.
you can't do that.
No. So you guys are
Exactly.
letting so hold on. So Maxey's off the hook because he has 2
Yes.
great players.
Because
So
his coach
he's
doesn't
great
implement
He's
it
been good all
well.
year.
And the Heat don't. So now Tyler's like, what are you talking about? Where's it?
There's a
Herro
reason.
has
There's a
gotten
reason why
incrementally
Herro's
worse.
so good.
Herro hasn't been able to shoot with efficiency since that finals. He hasn't been even close to 39% from 3 really in most games. Maxey's 44% from 3 with volume, and that's as a third option. Put him as a second option. We're talking about him in the same, like he's the 3rd or 4th best shooting guard in basketball. If we're
At
talking
the
about
end of
that.
the day,
Yes,
all of
Tyrese Maxey's the 3rd or 4th best shooting guard in the
Within
league.
it, with it, yeah. If we talk about when he
Are we
becomes a
talking
second
basketball?
option,
You bring it. Okay, he has. Okay, you guys keep talking about hypotheticals. I'm talking about what's happened previously. Like, what are we talking about?
I want to hear Armand's
Hypotheticals.
thoughts on this.
Go ahead,
At the
Armand.
end of the day, all of these guards have the same question mark. Tyrese Maxey, Tyler Herro, Jordan Poole, all of these guys. In the playoffs, as we see with Jimmy Butler and so many other star-level players, you're going to get screened and you're going to get switched onto the other team's best player. Will you survive or will you not? So far in Tyler Herro's career, he does not survive. And that's kind of as good as you can be offensively, if you get played off of the floor because of your defense in crucial games, then that's a problem. Tyrese Maxey might have the same problem. So yes, I see both sides when it comes to this, but I mean, even though he's 23, 24 years old, if you can't defend, especially against switches in the playoffs, you're always going to be a liability in some degree. Offensively, I love Herro's game. I do, but
Me too.
that's how I see Herro. And when you're a team like Portland, I know, Arash, we kind of got off the rails here, but when you're a team like Portland, I don't really have any need for Herro because of the 3 guards that we already have. I wouldn't want
or Maxey, or any of them, guards. But that's all that's available, though. That's the thing. That's all that's available, which is back to my original point, that with what's available or what's going to be offered, Herro is going to be the best thing that they're going to get, unless something crazy happens. But that's all.
This is a question I have for Arash, because you're right, Adrian. That is all that is available. How much of these talks, though, do you think, Arash, are done in absolute silence? Could there be a mystery team
a ton.
that we haven't heard a peep about?
Listen, you touched on it. I mean, the number of times this has happened is a ton. I mean, listen, I go back to one of the best ones ever, the Paul George thing. Like, that came out of nowhere, which kind of goes to, Kawhi's love for the Clippers, that none of their meetings or their talks leaked out. His talks with the Raptors kind of leaked out. His talks with the Lakers certainly leaked out. Nothing with the Clippers leaked out. And then beyond that, when you have the trade that the Clippers made for Paul George, the fact that not even a peep of that leaked is still incredible when you really think about it. So yeah, listen, these trades can happen out of nowhere. My favorite one that kind of came out of nowhere, Pau Gasol. Obviously, all of a sudden you wake up one morning and Pau Gasol got traded to the Lakers. So these things can happen. They can go from 0 to 100 real quick, as they say. So we'll
this
see
show.
what happens with Dame. Well, listen, I mean, we
and
I love this stuff. I live for this. This is awesome.
I didn't know you know Drake like that, Arash.
Yeah, right.
Brandon just pointed that out. Yeah,
it's good.
Arash knows him by Aubrey. Arash knows him
That's
by
right.
Aubrey. He's
Like Coach Cal.
My main man Aubrey from Toronto. Very, very proud of him.
And just to let everybody know, youtube.com/@thesportingtrib, veins were popping out in multiple peoples during that discussion. So yeah, go check that out and subscribe.
So I think before we close out today, and we have a few minutes here, we have to lighten the mood here. I have a question for Grant, and then I'm going to put Brandon on the spot, because we had mentioned this off air, that Brandon is an up-and-coming sports reporter, just had this Shohei Ohtani news that did 200,000 views, all that good stuff, and we're very proud of him. We're also proud of his bars. The man can freestyle. The man can rap. And Grant, you've known him for quite some time. Is this true?
It's actually very true. Let me give you some backstory here. So me and Brandon have gone to many games together. We went to a lot of Clipper games last year. We went to Angel games last year. During these car rides, which is probably an hour long, he'll just say, hey, let's put on an instrumental. Let's freestyle. And he'll just pick out a sign. He'll be like, oh, there's a sign. He'll start freestyling over that beat. He'll go on YouTube, find the beat, bam, immediate bars, immediate lyrics. Now, I do have a recording of this. I'm not going to put out there yet because we don't have a recording deal. We don't have an agent. We don't have any of that stuff. But it is true. These stories are true. Brandon does have it. He has that ability.
So
yeah,
how do we do this? Yeah, we got 2.5 minutes left. We gotta hear something.
This is how we do this.
No. I need a beat. I need a beat.
Well, we illegally we're on the radio. I don't want to get sued by a label, so you're gonna have to go.
I keep my stuff. I keep my stuff. I don't want to get in trouble with the radio. I don't want to flip a cuss word or anything like that. But I'll say this. I'll say Grant has the video. You guys want to see one of the bars. Very disrespectful bars, very honest, but bars, very, very explicit.
Probably about Tyler
he can
Herro.
send it. I can make one about Tyler Herro, the anti-Jack Harlow Tyler Herro song.
Yeah, maybe one day at Arash's wedding, right? We can.
That's
we
what
can see a freestyle.
So
he promised me that. So
I'll do that for sure. For sure. We just need 3 songs by then, Grant. But I want an album. We need to go back to that studio and record an album. Just one take it.
Right.
See, he's serious. I'm telling you guys, he's serious.
Well,
about
look,
it.
we put him under pressure in the playoffs, and similar to most of the Sixers roster, he didn't come through. But it's okay. It's fine. It's all
Yeah, because
right.
he didn't provide me a beat. It's not Maxey's fault. You provided him Harden.
Fair enough.
These are great analogies. You guys are hitting it out of the park with these.
Thank you. This is a good little
All
crew
right.
around here.
Listen, we will do something. We will work on it. Speaking of bars, tomorrow's show will be great. We're scheduled to have slam dunk champion Mac McClung, South Bay Laker legend. So listen, we're very excited to have him. But yeah, listen, we will work on this. Now that we're on YouTube, now that we're streaming, you can watch the show. We want to provide you guys with the entertainment value that you demand from us. And listen, if you like hot sports takes, if you like debate, my goodness, the veins popping out of my co-hosts today, the passion, el pasión. I love that. All right, listen, we all got to take a deep breath, calm down, and that's all the time we have for today. So let's take some time off, take a breath, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Until then, this is Arash Markazi saying, stay safe, stay healthy.